Got Roger Smith on the line asking about Marvin Harrison Jr. We all sang his praises, as did many after the spring game. That is one game, one session, not to be overblown, but hey, he's obviously an enormous talent. Do we have a good idea, Steve, where he may factor into the wide receiver rotation?
Yeah, I think he's definitely in the mix. It seemed to me that Harrison was backing up Chris Olave at the Z, but I am open to, again, how much we really got to see what they were doing and how they were lining up. I guess I'm open to that. He just seems so polished and ahead of his years, catching passes all over the field, different routes and comeback routes and out routes and different kinds of ways to get him the football. And it looked like his dad had prepared him properly for what college football is all about, because he came in with a lot of weapons in his arsenal and, looked like he belonged from day one, it seemed like, or at least day one that we got to watch them. So I think you got to be very excited about his potential as a college football player. And, he very well could be the third or fourth receiver on this team, because I think Smith-Njigba also took a big step from where we saw him at the end of last year and is much more consistent, it seems, right now. So I think you've got 4 or 5 guys there that you can really hang your hat on. And Egbuka, he came in ready to roll too. So it really is an embarrassment of riches, I think, for Ohio State at wide receiver. They need to get Fleming healthy to where then they have a full 2 deep at every spot and can really, make some big things happen. But I think you got to be excited about Harrison's potential and his future. And, he's the son of a former NFL star, but he didn't get this opportunity or this position just because of nepotism or anything like that, or because, he played with the quarterback who signed with Ohio State. He got this position, this opportunity, this scholarship because he's that good. So, and he backed it up, I thought, this spring.
Yeah, and it wasn't just – the spring game wasn't just the one performance, and one of these things where we get to see it and fans get to see it and everything gets extrapolated from there. Everything we had all been hearing all spring long was that, yeah, he even before the spring, that he arrived in the winter and immediately went to working and was catching balls at all hours, and really takes this seriously because he grew up seeing how to take it seriously and what it takes to get where you want to go. And so then he finished it well. And I do think he's part of that rotation. I think I keep saying, I think there's going to be a 6-man rotation, and you've got the 6 guys right now that, at one point there are 9 guys. And you're like, well, how are they going to play all these guys? And G. Scott goes to tight end, and Mookie Cooper transferred out last year. And then you've got Jameson Williams transferring out. So the numbers eventually figure themselves out. And Steve mentioned Julian Fleming. Brian Hartline said he hasn't been healthy since high school, and that's why he was held out a bit this spring. They cleaned up his shoulder, so he'll be healthy this year for the first time. And so you figure he backed up Chris Olave last year. You would assume he'd do the same thing. Marvin Harrison is like your prototypical X kind of receiver. He's big. He's 6'3", 6'4". He'll back up Garrett Wilson, and then Jackson Smith-Njigba will start in the slot, and Emeka Egbuka, who is there behind him this spring, will be there again this season. And now you've got it's a lot to assume 2 freshmen are going to be put into the rotation. So maybe it won't be certainly won't be a 50-50. Maybe it's a 67-33 type of thing. But I think you're going to see those 6 quite a bit this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but, as we were sitting there talking about just the opportunity to be able to, for guys not named Olave and Wilson to catch 30, 40 passes or whatever, probably just not going to be there. But, Marvin Harrison certainly checks off a lot of the boxes. And, I think a lot of people thought with the Scott, Egbuka, JSN class, who was going to emerge from there and, due to injuries or whatever, and then it was JSN that was able to emerge. So I think there's always room for somebody to be able to do that. And that's not sleeping on what Emeka is able to do or what Jaden Ballard is able to do. it's just ridiculous for what's going on. The only thing I'll say is when you're given your opportunity, best not waste it, because opportunity is not going to knock twice in that Ohio State receiver room.